October is Spine Health Awareness Month, but how much do we know about this complex structure within our body? I paid a visit to Memorial Hermann Mischer Neuroscience Centre in the Woodlands to chat with someone who knows a bit about spines. Dr. Zubay, our spines are pretty amazing things. I mean, you deal with quite a few spines in your line of work.
A large part of my practice is helping manage people's spinal disorders.
So what is the spine?
The spine is a huge multi-segment structure made of bones and joints, which provide a skeletal system of support for the human body, as well as providing a protective environment for the nervous system.
We kind of need it. It's kind of important.
It's a little important, yes.
So when things go wrong with our spine, what does that mean for the rest of our body?
Yeah, a lot of times people don't know that they have an actual spine problem when they are actually having a spinal disorder. That disorder can either be a balance problem, it could be a pain problem in a limb, arm, or leg, it could be the loss of strength or the loss of sensation. And because sometimes those symptoms are separated from their attachment to the spine in terms of how they're perceived, people don't realize the origin of that problem is in the spine.
Oh wow, so people can go for a really long time thinking something's wrong with their leg and not realizing that's come from the spine.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes people are already like looking and getting their hip or their knee or their foot evaluated by a different physician, and then there's an absence of abnormalities there, and then they eventually come backwards, and then they end up in our office seeing us for their spine.
I mean, does that mean if people have got something wrong with their foot, they should go and see a spine doctor first to save that? Or is
that's an excellent question. But I mean, the characteristic of pain that typically is coming from the back is one that has a more of a radiating component, which travels down the leg, down to the foot, down the arm, down to the fingers or the hand. Definitely if there's like the loss of like power or sensation, then that immediately always has to raise the concern that a nerve is being bothered. And so that should begin its assessment with either someone like me or a neurologist. As a part of the aging process, everybody's spines age, right? And so we're all at different points in time going to experience in small different doses a version of those symptoms or pain. And most of the time it's going to go away. It's when those symptoms persist, kind of like without kind of improving, then that's when there should be a concern that either there's not just a spine disorder, but maybe some other disorder that needs to be looked at.
You say that all of our spines are aging. It's inevitable that we're going to have some problems at some point in our lives. Is there anything we can do to prevent or at least hold off the inevitable?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we do age, right? And the spine is a bone structure, and the way the spine comes together, the bones are connected by joints, and the joints actually shield stress and provide for motion. But as those joints wear from repetitive use over time, just like the tires on your car wear down, then they no longer provide the appropriate amount of stress shielding. The best way we can help slow that process is by shielding the spine from unwanted stress.
Okay, so what is an abusive activity that you shouldn't be doing with your spine?
Some of the things that are the most fun are the most abusive, right? I mean, for example, I love skiing bumps. That's terrible for your back. People play sports like football or collision sports. Those are very hard on the spine structures.
And then on the upside, what is something good that we can do to look after our spine?
Yeah, I mean, core stability exercises is really the best thing. And I always like throw out that what I think is the best version of that type of exercise is reformer-based Pilates. It addresses your whole body, not just your spine, but your elbows, your shoulders, your hips, your knees. And it's a low impact. You don't have to be flexible to do it. So even our physical therapy center, where we send patients after surgery, we have a bunch of reformers down in our physical therapy department for patients to use and get acquainted with that exercise and use it as a segue to getting back on their feet.
That's amazing. Well, on that, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to book into a Pilates class. Dr. Zubay, thank you so much for chatting with us.
You're welcome.
And yeah, I hope I never have to see you.
Well, thanks, Mel. You know, for more information on spine health, you can visit memorialhermann.org/neuro or just give them a call, 713-897-5900.
We are so lucky to have some of the best doctors in the world right here in Houston.
That's right.